Hey everybody, Brickette here showing how to get all 17 astronaut characters or disguises in LEGO City Undercover. First I'll show you all the astronaut disguises or characters in the order on the grid. Then I'll show you how to get each character token. Column 1 has 2 Chase McCains, one for each player. On the Wii U, the second character is Bud Hawkins, and he looks like that. The third astronaut in the first column is Dutch Danish. Astronaut number 4 is Space Scientist. Astronaut number 5 in column 2, row 1, is Forrest Blackwell. Astronaut number 6 is Haydxn Gemson. Not sure about that X. Astronaut number 7 is Jonlan Regnix. Astronaut number 8 is Henrik Kowalski. Astronaut number 9 is Rex Fury. He has a jetpack and super strength, but no crowbar, so you can put someone else in the criminal slot if you want. Astronaut number 10 is Drew Calhoun, second one down in the third column. Astronaut number 11 is Gemma Jones.
My boss will be livid if I'm late again.
Astronaut number 12 is Cal Wainwright. Astronaut number 13 is Brantford Cubbery. Astronaut number 14 is Spaceman. Astronaut number 15 is Space Villain. Astronaut number 16 is Space Alien. And the last astronaut, number 17, is Classic Alien. And then there's a space to create a custom astronaut character or disguise. You might have seen him in some of my other videos. The timestamps of all the characters or disguises in this video are listed in the description in the order of this video. You can also find them this way. During Chapter 7 of the story, One Small Job for Chan, we get the first 2 astronaut disguises, a Chase McCain for each player. During that chapter, we eventually get to Apollo Island and get the disguise in here. We get Bud Hawkins on the Wii U and Oscar Steele in the remastered version by completing the free run on Apollo Island. On the Wii U, Bud Hawkins is astronaut number 2 instead of the second Chase McCain. I show how to unlock the free run in at least 2 other videos, all Apollo Island characters and all criminals. So I'll just do the actual free run this time and save some of your time. There's the first of 7 clock tokens. There's the second. The third. The fourth. The fifth, sixth, and the seventh. You get Bud Hawkins, astronaut number 2, on the Wii U. Oscar Steele is a criminal. Both cost 10,000 studs. Dutch Danish, astronaut number 3, is also on Apollo Island, on the northeast side. We get Dutch Danish after we build Spinning Shuttle Program Super Build. There it is. It just popped in. It shows up on the map once you discover it. All these super builds are using up all my bricks. The spinning shuttle program super build costs 50,000 bricks. I didn't have to ride the ride to get the token. This goes on forever. Dutch Danish costs 20,000 studs. We get the space scientist, the fourth astronaut on the grid, by going over to the far right of Apollo Island on the map and selecting Apollo Island Space Center to get to Special Assignment 6, Astronaughty.
All engineering staff return to the control room and check systems.
We can get the space scientist in story mode or in free play.
I repeat, all engineering staff return to the control room.
You can save and exit this level in the pause menu after getting the space scientist, or you can pull on those orange strength handles for the space villain, astronaut number 15, or climb up that chain to finish the level. Space scientists cost 20,000 studs. We can get Forrest Blackwell, the astronaut, under this water tower, but we need Rex Fury for it. We get Rex Fury at the end of Special Assignment 15 while we're free-falling. Forrest Blackwell costs 100,000 studs. There are 3 other Forrest Blackwell characters and they're all criminals. This one is the only astronaut. Haydxn Gemson, or Ben Sharples on Wii U, is in Special Assignment 15, right after the cutscene.
Chase, I have to warn you that takeoff is extremely uncomfortable.
I think I can handle it, Professor. I've seen the movies.
And launching in 10, 9. We do that in case the astronauts change their mind. Hey, what do you know? In space you can hear them scream.
Well done! You are in outer space!
That's weird. I don't feel any lighter. I bet it's because of those cookies I ate in the rocket.
If you have the Supercolor Gun red brick, you can shoot that green light with the criminal disguise. If you don't have the red brick, you can use the color swapper up there. I played that beginning cutscene because it was funny. I wish we could replay the story of this game without having to start a new one. Haydxn Gemson was a programmer on this game. Ben Sharples was the designer. Haydxn Gemson, or Ben Sharples, cost 10,000 studs. Jonlan Regnix, astronaut number 7, is on Apollo Island near the stunt ramp and the loop-de-loop. The stunt ramp is over to the right after you build it. The loop-de-loop is over to the left.
Oh no!
We need the construction worker disguise for this. And I can get a satellite dish on the way for the radio DJ. Here's the box for the satellite dish. The space shuttle is already built over there because I got it during Chapter 15 of the story. That's how we get the Spaceman, astronaut number 14 in this video. There's the Jonlan Regnix character token. This is so much better than the chicken glide. There's the pig down there if you haven't returned it yet. Jonlan Regnix costs 10,000 studs. Henrik Kowalski, astronaut number 8, is in Auburn. We can get to Henrik Kowalski's character token from this corner in Auburn.
This is an emergency!
Evening. I can't believe I only get allowed a half hour.
You can wade over to the ladder or you can fill this up and swim to the wall. Spam that jump button. Go to the left here for Henrik Kowalski. There was a small super brick up there. Now it's a blue stud. Henrik Kowalski is an astronaut and a resident, but you only get the astronaut version of him in Auburn. You can get the resident version of him in Special Assignment 13. Well, that didn't work. Henrik Kowalski costs 60,000 studs. We get Rex Fury, astronaut number 9, after we conquer all 17 districts. The last one I got was on Albatross Island.
Albatross Prison, the very name of which makes me think of Albatross Prison.
Phew. And that's the last district conquered. And we get Rex Fury, astronaut number 9.
Another task finished off. You're on fire today, Chase.
There's a link to my video on this in the description, or you can search for All Districts Conquered Brickette to find it. Rex Fury, Astronaut, costs 1,000,000 studs. We can get Drew Calhoun on the pier in King's Court by going behind this building and climbing up to the top. It's hard to jump up here without jumping over it. Drew Calhoun costs 10,000 studs. We get Gemma Jones, Jenny Rathbone on Wii U, Astronaut number 11, on Apollo Island where I went to get Jonlan. I'm going back up there to do a chicken glide for Gemma Jones. Now for the Gemma Jones character token with the chicken glide. You get Jenny Rathbone, Astronaut, on the Wii U. She is named after an artist on the Wii U version of this game. I'm gonna chicken glide from here to the second garage over. This chicken glide is pretty easy. Some of them, though. Sheesh. Gemma Jones cost 20,000 studs, and she was the cinematics production manager of this game. Also on the pier in King's Court is Cal Wainwright.
This is gonna be a good day.
I hate going to the dentist.
Astronaut number 12. We'll need the firefighter disguise for that. Cal Wainwright cost 10,000 studs. Brantford Cubbery, Astronaut number 13, is close to the pier on Apollo Island. We get him by building the disguise booth. Brantford Cubbery costs 10,000 studs. We get the Spaceman, Astronaut 14, during the story in Chapter 15 after we build the space shuttle. Here's one of the yellow bins we can color for the Garbage Man character token. Did you see that? He switched to a firefighter and now we're in story mode. I had to go back to an earlier game to redo this part of Chapter 15. I don't have enough bricks, but there should be enough on that structure to the left. I show how to get all the super bricks to the left in my All 11 Apollo Island Characters video. There's a link in the description. The space shuttle costs 50,000 bricks. The Spaceman costs 10,000 studs. We get the space villain, Astronaut 15, by going over to the far right of Apollo Island on the map and selecting Apollo Island Space Center to get to Special Assignment 6, Astronaughty. We need Rex Fury for the space villain, so we have to come back to this special assignment after we finish the whole story and get Rex. You can save and exit this level in the pause menu after getting the space villain, or you can continue on for the space scientist, astronaut number 4. Space villain costs 10,000 studs. We get astronaut number 16, Space Alien, after we catch all the aliens. And that's the last alien captured. And we get the Astronaut Ace Trophy or achievement if we conquer all the districts too. And we get Space Alien, Column 4, Row 4.
Whoa! Is there anything you can't do, Chase? Congratulations!
There's a link to my video on this in the description, or you can search for all 17 aliens Brickette to find it. Space Alien costs 10,000 studs. This is where we get the classic alien from the Super Satellite Super Build. Classic Alien is the 17th astronaut on the grid. Am I gonna make it? We get the classic alien character token by building the Super Satellite Super Build, which costs 40,000 bricks. There are some other things to do down here, but no other character tokens. The classic alien costs 10,000 studs. Thanks to Wendy Vanderlaan, Super Legacy, Jordy Webb, TRB Luke Brawl Stars, and Enrique Faralera for requesting this video. Also, I'd like to thank all of you for watching, liking, subscribing, and all your wonderful comments. I really appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.